Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel, the best place for investing, trading, and the stock market. So the stock market is officially in a recession right now. So what are some of the stocks that I'm taking a look at right now and are placing on my watch list? Make sure you stick around till the end of the video because I'll be revealing to you my top 5 stocks that I'm placing on my watch list and currently watching right now. So let's dive right in. Alright, so what are the best stocks to buy during this recession? So the prices of these stocks might be affected by the recession and coronavirus, but their underlying businesses remain unaffected by the virus. So here's my top 5 stocks that I'm keeping on my watch list and looking to buy at a discount and whose stock price I believe is likely to rise exponentially once this epidemic is over. Right, so before I review to you my top 5 stocks, let's have a look at a quick update of the situation right now. Alright, so this is a screenshot of a page that tracks the number of coronavirus cases around the world. So as you can see, this is a screenshot that I took on March 17. So the total number of coronavirus cases around the world stands at 190,394. So that's quite a lot of cases. And unfortunately, there are over 7,000 deaths around the world. But on the brighter side, there are more than 80,000 people who have recovered from the virus. So hopefully the healthcare authorities will find a vaccine soon and then more people will be able to recover from this virus, right? So this is just a quick update on the total number of cases and numbers with regards to the coronavirus cases around the world. So this is a picture of a street in Italy. So this is, if I'm not wrong, is in Rome, right? So as you can see that like the streets, especially in certain countries such as Italy, France, the US, so some of these countries have implemented a lockdown or at least a partial lockdown of their country. So people are just staying in and not going out and everything, right? So the coronavirus situation is really serious at the moment. So on top of the health risk of the coronavirus, the virus is also impacting the worldwide economy. So, and if it continues its trajectory, it could lead to a severe recession in the global economy. And it is official, if you don't already know, that the US economy is in a recession because the SPY has dropped by more than 20%, 25.5% to be specific. And we say that an economy is officially in a bear market when stock prices drop by more than 20%. So right now, the US stock market has dropped by 25.5%. So it is in a recession right now. All right, so now let's take a look at which industries have been the hardest hit, right? So there are two main industries that have been hit the hardest. So the first is the transportation industry. So what kind of companies are in the transportation industry? So these companies are airline companies, cruises companies, and private transportation companies. Airlines, cruises, private transportation, all these companies falls under the transportation industry. So the second industry that have been hit the hardest is the tourism industry, right? So tourism includes hotels, F&B, and entertainment, right? So these are some of the companies that have been hardest hit by the coronavirus outbreak. All right, so let's take a look at some of the companies in the industries that are hardest hit. So the two industries that we have talked about is the tourism industry and the transportation industry. So the first stock we'll take a look at is Delta Airlines. So Delta Airlines is a airline company in the US. So if we take a look at the stock price, Delta Airlines has actually fell by quite a fair bit, right? So from the high here, it's around 62.41. So the high was around 62.41. And currently, the low of the price is 25.5. So Delta Airlines has actually fell by more than 50% since its high. All right, so the next company that we'll take a look at is a cruise company, so Royal Caribbean. So as you can see from afar, Royal Caribbean has also fell by quite a substantial amount, right? So let's take a look at the high. So the high was around 135. So right now the price is at 24.15. So that is more than 50% drop in its value in just the past couple of weeks. So Royal Caribbean is another company that has been hardest hit by the coronavirus outbreak. So the next company we'll take a look at is Uber. So Uber is a private transportation company. So let's take a look. So Uber also has fell by quite a fair bit, right? So the high was around here. So at around 41.6. So right now the price is at around $17. So again,
it has fell by more than 50%. Alright, so the next stock that we'll take a look at is in the tourism industry. So tourism industry includes hotels, F&B, and entertainment. So let's take a look at one company, this company called Wynn. So Wynn is a casino and resort company. Right, so can you see that the company has also dropped by quite a fair bit? So its high was around here. So around 152.7, right? And then right now, the price is around $50. So it has dropped by more than 2/3 of its price, or more than 60% of its value since the outbreak of the virus and in the past couple of weeks, right? So as you can see, these companies are in the industries that are really hit hard by the coronavirus outbreak.
So the good news is that the coronavirus, however serious it may be right now, is not going to last forever, right? So in fact, China, the epicenter of the coronavirus, has actually managed to control the spread in the country. And like all other viruses, such as SARS, which happened a couple of years ago, these viruses will eventually die out. And when it ends, countries will recover, businesses and companies will also recover, and their stock prices will correspondingly recover also. So what stocks am I looking at that I know are highly likely to rise exponentially once the virus is over? So could you buy stocks from the industries that are the most affected by the virus, such as airline stocks, cruises, and so on? You could, and these stocks will rise back up eventually, but they might take some time to recover. So the stocks that I'm adding to my watch list are stocks of companies whose businesses are not directly impacted by the virus, or won't be affected as much relative to the stocks from tourism and transportation industries. In fact, the businesses for these companies are likely to be even better during this period. So these companies are likely to make even more revenues and profits during this period. So while these companies tend to make potentially more profits during this period, but because stock prices, as we know, are driven largely by emotions in the short term, the stock price of these companies are dropping during this period, right? And that is good news for us because it means that we are able to get these companies on a discount. So before I go on, I need to clarify this point here. We all have different investment goals and time frame. So some of us might hold a longer period, while the rest of us will hold for a shorter period. So I'm a medium-term trader, so I hold my stocks anywhere from 1 week to a couple of months. So that said, I will only start buying these companies on my watch list when the trend reverses back into an uptrend. So if you want to know how to determine the trends in the market, check out my video over here on moving averages, where I show my strategy on how I determine the trends of the market using moving averages. So right now, the market is on a downtrend. So what is low can get even lower, and I don't want to catch a falling knife. So I only start entering the market and buying these stocks when the markets indicate to me that the trend has reversed from a downtrend to an uptrend. So then and only then will I enter my long positions in the market. So here's my top 5 stocks whose price I believe will rise and recover faster than the overall market once the situation is under control. So during this period, as more companies ask their staff to work from home, more and more companies are taking their businesses online and in the cloud. So companies that provide these cloud services and technology to businesses are likely to benefit during this period. And one of the companies that are at the forefront of the cloud technology is Microsoft, right? So furthermore, even before the virus outbreak, more and more companies are already starting to adopt cloud technology in their businesses. And I believe that the virus will only accelerate this transition. Therefore, companies in this cloud technology space are likely to benefit from this transition. So you're holed up at home and you want to do some shopping, but you can't go out. So what do? You buy them online, right? So you will use e-commerce companies. So companies that allow you to shop online and have these items delivered right to your doorstep. So one of the biggest e-commerce company in the world is Alibaba, right? And it has really good financials right now. So it is one of the stock that I'm keeping a watch on. So the next stock is in the healthcare sector. So the healthcare sector tends to do relatively well in a recession, and especially during this coronavirus period and recession, more people are going to buy healthcare stocks. So one company in the healthcare sector that I'm looking at is the company called Eli Lilly and Company, right? So the next stock is a company which does cybersecurity. So with many countries conducting their attacks against each other online and stealing intellectual property, and maybe with more people staying at home, more of such online attacks are going to be conducted. So, but one thing's for sure, more and more countries and companies are going to need cybersecurity in the future. And one cybersecurity company I'm looking at is a company called CyberArk Software. All right, and the fifth company I have on my list is Adobe, right? So Adobe owns Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and other software among its list of software that it offers to its customer. So even if people work from home, they are still able to use Adobe, and Adobe charges its users a recurring subscription. And I believe that that is a really great business model to have, because it means that companies have a consistent source of revenue. So these are the companies whose businesses won't be affected by the crisis and are likely to recover and rise the fastest once this crisis is over. So note that this is not a recommendation or advice for you to buy these companies. These are companies that I have done my own research and have determined to be great companies to have. So you got to do your own research to determine whether these companies meet your criteria, and if they do, also do your research to determine when to buy these companies. So those are the top 5 stocks that I'm looking out for and are currently placing on my watch list. If you have liked this video and have learned something from it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because every week I release one new video on investing, trading, and the stock market. So I'll see you in those other videos. To your financial success.